Hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the most surprising books of the year, which I think I have 6, and this is fun. It's fun because it's like, of course, I mostly read fantasy, and sometimes like that disappoints me or whatever, but then you kind of like, so this year I kind of discovered somewhat of a new genre, and that was romance. And reading these stories like when I wasn't dating anybody or whatever, like they bring you so much joy. There's just so much happiness in these pages. I am shocked. Like if you had told me in 2022 that my favorite, like 2 or 3 of my favorite books of the year were going to be romance books, like I just would have been like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, no. But I think I've said this in other videos, like I have realized that a lot of the things that I enjoy in my fantasy books have to do with the romance, and I know the romance genre is the #1 performer. All of that is just all of that besides the point. Okay, I could do a whole video about romance, and I might do that. We'll see. First, let's talk about the books that I don't own physically. And the first one that was a surprise for me. It's not a there's several on here that are not romance, but the first one being Bunny by Mona Awad. And I was just surprised because the way people discuss this book is that it's like Heather's, but like with horror. I can't even describe this book to you. I don't really know. But for some reason, what it reminded me personally of the most is Mean Girls, because it's really about, it really discusses like in this weird, horrific way, like how you're a girl, I'm not a girl obviously, but like the female friendship dynamics in a way that's like, once you kind of get into this click with people, like other people don't matter. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know how to describe it. The way that female friendship works is just so fascinating in general, about how girls are so, I mean, you can even think like, even when I watch like the Real Housewives shows, like people form alliances, girls like shift who they're friends with, like, and people get excluded from things, and the way that that makes you feel, and the way that when you are included makes you feel, it's honestly, and the irony of like being excluded and how that like, it's just insane how this book does this. Like, and this is what I've learned too, is that the horror element, because like I guess you could call this magical realism, and I don't like magical realism. However, I like it, I guess, if there's going to be a horror thing involved and people are doing things that are weird and like not really, like they're like weird things are happening, but we're not really acknowledging it. Something about that. I know there's a lot of horror out there like that, so if you have any recommendations, please let me know. I know there's a lot of books like that where you just like the characters are acting like everything is fine, even though if it was happening in our world, we would be freaking the hell out. And just, but it was in a way that was sort of like, because she's like an outsider coming in, so the people on the inside are doing all these weird things, and she's slowly like, I don't even know how to describe it, but it was so, I think I gave it a 4 out of 5. Like, it wasn't like an all-time favorite, but I don't know if I'll buy it, but I definitely could see myself rereading it and maybe enjoying it even more on a reread, because it is just so fascinating. And it has such a low rating. So again, that's why it's kind of surprising to me that I enjoyed it, because I just didn't expect to. I thought, because I don't like weird stuff. I like things to be explained. Although this, for some reason, I didn't need an explanation. I was like, okay, so they're doing this, Okay, got it. Like I got what they were doing. I didn't need to explain, I didn't need to know how it worked and what they did to like, whatever. I didn't need all that. So I don't know, sometimes like things just, sometimes you just contradict yourself. The next one is He Started It by Samantha Downing. Again, I had never read a Samantha Downing book, and this is one that I picked up at the library only knowing that Kayla from Books and Lala enjoys this author, and I didn't look at the rating at all. And then I took this book on a vacation and I read the whole thing on the vacation and was absolutely gripped from start to finish. And then when I went to go mark it as read on Goodreads, I saw it has like a 3.45 or maybe 3.5. I don't know. It has a very low rating. And I was like, what? Like, what do y'all mean? Like, how did I read the same book? Because to me, this has like family dynamics. It's about this road trip, like they're all going on this road trip. You don't really know like why, but just everything that was happening was so, I guess it was like more suspense than thriller, and I love suspense, I've come to learn. So there's that. Okay, next we have The Woman in the Library, which has taught me that I love meta elements. Like I think that like if a book is going to like poke fun at itself or poke fun at the genre or something about this book just absolutely worked for me. I loved this book. I was riveted from start to finish, and I just found it to be absolutely fascinating. Okay, next we've got Shatter Me, which, again, I have only seen negative reviews for this. So to pick this up and actually enjoy it and enjoy the first book, because most people say the first book is the worst, like I enjoyed all three books. I think I enjoyed probably the second one the most. Maybe, I don't know, I'd have to, I'm not ever gonna reread these, to be honest with you. But like, this was, there's no world building. This is what I think had me realize, like, okay, maybe you should read just a romance, because a lot of like what I liked about this had to do with like the romantic tension. And as the series progresses, things completely shift, and I don't know, like, this is all about a love triangle, 100%. Like, all you're reading this for is a love triangle. I've only read the first three. I'm not continuing past that because I've heard it gets even worse. And I was already starting to kind of like lose like steam on it. So no, but these first three books, definitely, they did something to me. They had me like, maybe this isn't, I mean, it is trash. Like, it's complete trash. But like in a really, really fun way that I enjoyed. And the X-Men stuff, and I really enjoyed, like, again, the character trajectory of Juliet, right? Yeah, Juliet, she's a stinker at the beginning of this, okay? Like, she's so, like, shy and timid and all that, and she really comes into her own by the end, especially, like, that. And that was something else that was really great about this series, like, the first three books. And, like, there's a lot of plot twists, and it is very gripping and engaging, so I have to give it that. But, like, is it, like, it's surprising. It's not going to be in like my favorite books of the year. Like, it's not quite there, but it did something. I have to give it that props. Okay, and then I do have actually three more. I don't know if I said how many I was going to be calling out in the video, but another one that was surprising me was Royal Assassin, which is ironic because I literally had the following book in my most disappointing books of the year. But this one, honey, Robin Hobb popped off with this one. Okay, this was incredible. The cliffhanger at the ending of this, the way, like, I was absolutely shook by the end of this. And I don't know what else to say. Like, this was iconic. Like, this is, I don't know which book it is. I think it's just the way people talk about the realm of the Elderlings in general that makes me just excited to read all of them. And I've already started Ship of Magic, and I'm already like, Robin Hobb is the queen of not info dumping. And I've come to learn that maybe I have the unpopular opinion that I love an info dump. I love when a character just tells you all this stuff about the world. Like, and I know it seems like so many people hate that, and I just don't hate that at all. Like, but at the same time, it's like, because she doesn't do it, I understand the appeal of why people say they hate world, because it's like, you're getting just enough to know about the world, but not enough to like just exposition at you. Like, and the way that she's starting off the Life Trip Trader series, and the way I'm only like 40 pages into the new book. I can't really do it on audio, so it's going to take me probably 8 months to read that book. But I am so intrigued by everything that's set up in these books, even with my excitement versus disappointment, all of that. All right, and then next we've got The Love Hypothesis. For me, this was 5 stars. I gave this 5 stars. And like, I'm kind of embarrassed to admit it, but also not, because like I enjoyed reading a book, so who cares? Like, but this is just, it's just fun. It's just camp. It's just stupid and silly, and that's what I guess that's the type of romances that I enjoy, because I've also read a couple Emily Henry books, and she is a different type of romance writer that a lot of other people seem to enjoy, but I think this is one for, like, this is the type of romance I like. Like, I love the comedy in the romance, but there is sort of a serious issue here, and like there's a gay character. No one ever talks about the fact there's a gay character in here, and he has like his own like side romance, and I would love to read a book about him, but this was so much fun. This was just so much fun, and I'm probably going to be in my romance era in 2024 because I just love all the lightheartedness of it, because the world is so bleak, and these books like this, they just take me out of it in this way that I can't describe. And they just make everything feel like it's gonna be okay. And this is so stupid. And I loved every page of it. I ate this shit up. Like, it was candy in the best way. And then finally, we have The Kiss Quotient. There's a line specifically in this book that I deeply related to that said Stella, the main character, she was either completely obsessed with something or completely indifferent. And I've never related to a sentence more in my life. And I think possibly I am maybe neurodivergent because I always find myself relating to autistic characters or feeling like, oh, they did this or said this, and like I would possibly find myself in that same situation. But at the same time, I also have like a pretty great job and I'm pretty successful at like a lot of other stuff in life. So it's just like, am I? I don't know, but I do relate to these characters, and mostly her as a character. And I kind of just like really pretended I was her as I read this, because this love interest was giving, like was absolutely giving. The things that he was saying, I was like, yeah, I would love to be spoken to that way by this man. I'm definitely gonna be reading more by, you're gonna probably see, hopefully like these two authors, you're gonna see more of them in my 2024 favorites list, because I'm very excited. I read both of these physically, and I am an audiobook person, but I read both of these start to finish physically. Like, this is what I'm talking about with the romance genre. Like, it's just in a league of its own, and these are the books to me that prove it. And like, there's just something about these that I loved on a level that I just can't even just, like, I just loved them so much. And but this one is my favorite. Like, I love this one even more than this one. I mean, this one, you're following your girl. She's always had really bad sex, and she hires this man who's a sex worker, and they don't have bad sex. And she's expecting that it will be bad, but the chemistry, honey, the chemistry. Yeah, I will be reading more of this. I am scared of what's the one after this? The Bride Test? I think I'm gonna just read the Bride Test, and then I'm gonna just end it there. I don't know if I'm gonna read the third one, because people talk about the third one like it's depressing. So I'm not picking up a book knowing it's depressing. I'm picking up fun romance. Okay, so if you have any, and I love this cover trend. I love the cutesy romance cover trend. I'm so here for it. I love it. So those are all my surprising books of 2023. Please let me know in the comments any that you've read that surprised you. If you read any of these, let me know your thoughts. I will leave my Instagram, Goodreads, and Twitter. It will all be in the description for you to check out if you would like. Otherwise, have a great day. Bye.